Hello ADF friend, thank you and welcome to my video. In this video we're going to see how to write a variable to Azure Blob Storage using Azure Data Factory or Azure Synapse Analytics Pipeline. So there are two possible options. We can use a copy activity or we can use a web activity. But in this video we're going to see a copy activity. So for example, we have a data as a variable and in our variable has a value which is highlighted in here, and we are going to write that value into this file which is in another container. So now let's go to here, and here you can see that this is my ADF pipeline. I have a variable and a copy activity, and my variable, you can see here that this is my variable and there is no any default value and it is a type of string. You can choose a type of array as well. And here I am going to set value. So here you can see that I have set value which is this value. You can have any value, you can have parameters or functions, or you can have a concatenation or some other function and some calculated value as well, but we have a simple string. And this is the copy activity. So before we going to see here, let me show you here my input and output container. So this is my input container and in blob, and you can see this is a file and it has empty. This file is empty, there is no any value, and that is my input container in here in my blob storage. This is my container and this is my input container, and you can see that I have a file but file is empty. I can show you it again. Let's refresh, edit it. Yeah, so it's empty, and this is my output container. So if I go back here, output container, and if I refresh, you will see that there is no any file here. So once I successfully run my pipeline, you will see that there is a new file has created in here, and it has a value which I have in my variable. So let's go back in a pipeline, and let me now show you two settings, source and sync. So this is my copy activity, and in my copy activity I have a source setting, and in source setting I am pointing a data set. Let's open that data set. You can see that this is the same file which we have in input directory, input container, and rest of others just default parameters. And I'm closing this data set, and you can see that I have added here additional. You can have more additional column as well, but I have used only one additional column. So let's delete this out, and it's using the variable value. So you can go here and you can see in variable section. You don't need to remember syntax, you just select here and it will automatically come here for you. So that is my variable, and this value is going to write into our output container. And in my sync setting I have a data set as well, and this data set is nothing but is pointing to output container, and this file will be the same as the input file unless I would like to change some other name. So I'll keep as the same, so no need to specify here file name. And so that's it, and here you can see mapping. So that's additional column, it's a type string and it's a one column only. Okay, that's it, no any other settings needed. And if I run this pipeline, let me run this pipeline. So first of all, it's a, you will see the value of the variable. So we can check here, it's this is the value, and that value is going to write into here. You can see that that is a source of my copy activity, and it's already done. So you can see that it has written value succeeded. And if I go to here, you will see the value. This is the file, new file generated just now, and here you can see that it has a value which I have in my variable. So now let's go back here. So this is the one, so this is a simple value, but in real time scenario, you can have, you know, like append variable, and append variable can have more than one rows in there, and that's you going to write into CSV file or maybe in another file or somewhere else to do a further process. So in real time, you are, generally you need to call APIs. For example, you can call Salesforce APIs, or you can call, CRM 365 or Dataverse API or REST API or Azure function. And you need a return of your APIs to store in somewhere as a report. And you sometimes you calling that API iterative way inside a for each loop, and you will store the result in append variable. And finally, once you have result there, you writing into your blob storage. So that also you can do it, but for that it's your data is look like this. So like I have used a API calls and I have a two records, so it's calling two times API in my for each loop, and every time it's called, it's save the result of that API return value from that API into a append variable. And then finally I'm going to write down this value into blob storage, so that also can be done. So this is solution using the copy activity, and in next video we're going to see using web activity. Thank you for watching this session. Thanks.